IMI CEO Steve Nash speaks about professionalism and regulation in the motor industry. Tougher rules on car finance, how sharing the risk is one way of serving customers better. And the RAC helps us listen in to our cars and avoid problems.
It's quite amazing when the customer gets that call because, hang on, they didn't realise we're looking out for them and looking out for their vehicle technology and hopefully helping them stay on the road effectively.
Hello and welcome to Driving Change, a series of 4 programmes that explore the game-changing technologies, new customer expectations and business imperatives that are reshaping the motor industry. Well, this programme is focusing on the business opportunities presented by challenging and dynamic new forces being felt throughout the industry. Lifting the profile and professionalism of businesses is a key concern of the IMI, from the local independent repair workshop to the franchise dealership. And joining us in the studio to talk about how the industry is being supported in meeting this challenge is IMI CEO Steve Nash. Fair to say that the industry is in fairly good shape, wouldn't you say? You've enjoyed 4 years of record growth in terms of new car registrations, but there are still some negative perceptions, certainly in terms of car financing.
But actually, there's been a major shift in the way people are buying cars. I mean, people have often financed cars, but today, I mean, the PCP, as it's called, the sort of personal contract plan, is the popular way to buy a car. So people have shifted from buying cars to buying the use of a car.
FCA regulations are getting tougher though, aren't they? How would you say the industry is responding to that?
Since the crash, there's been a great deal of concern about people being protected when they're taking on finance. And so understandably, the regulations have been toughened. And that means that the onus is now on the dealerships to have people who are absolutely working within those regulations all the time. And that's quite reasonable. And so, we've been approached to help find a solution to that. We're working with an industry group and we're developing a higher level accreditation, and this is something that people see as a kind of an essential qualification.
Technology is clearly having a massive effect on how you operate, and how do you respond to that?
And I've had a pretty long career in the industry, and I think we hit certain sort of paradigm shifts, I think is the right thing to say. So back in the 80s and early 90s, we started to see the first sort of intensely electronic cars coming into the marketplace, and that's just carried on ever since. Where we're at now is potentially another paradigm shift, and I think it will take the curve up very steeply, because with the introduction of autonomous technologies, much wider use of alternative powertrains, electric, hybrid and so on, plug-in hybrids, that's really pushing the industry on at a pace. And I think with the controversy we've seen relatively recently around emissions, all of the manufacturers are looking at this and saying, well, look, the net result of that's going to be that the regulations are going to tighten. The cost of making diesels, particularly as clean as they're going to need to be in the future, will go up exponentially. So these technologies will be brought forward, much sooner than we'd anticipated, and we're already seeing that.
Steve, there's been a huge focus, hasn't there, on engineering and how that impacts the industry for a very long time, but it's important not to neglect the traditional skills of operating and business.
These days, I mean, you've got to be on everything. You've got to be great at used cars, you've got to be great at new cars, you've got to be great at selling tyres, you've got to be great, have a good body shop, you've got to be on the MOT thing. There's no opportunity you can afford to pass up, because otherwise you aren't going to make the sort of money you need to make. It's a really tough competitive business, and people need to be developed for that.
And you're not just, I guess, competing with competitors, you're also dealing with customers who know everything these days at a click.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Customers are monumentally well informed now. They can know everything they need to know. I mean, if you're a salesman within a dealership, if you think of the number of models and variants that exist, for you to know everything about every one of those is really quite tough. Whereas the customer will learn about the one that they want to know about. They may know more about that than you do.
Final question for now, and that's about licensing. It's been a particular bugbear for you, hasn't it? Where do you stand on that issue right now?
Well, we've made no secret of the fact that we think that we're in an unregulated industry, and we don't think that's appropriate anymore. You know, the gifted amateur, the person who decided last week that they want to service cars rather than do whatever they're doing, that's not appropriate anymore. You know, we're working with vehicles that are so incredibly sophisticated. Our general direction is to say, you know, we need licensing in the industry, and we've got a framework for that. I mean, we're not asking the government to develop a framework. We have that through our professional register. A great many stakeholders in the industry are already bought into that, so it's not an additional cost to them.
Steve Nash, very good to talk to you. We look forward to exploring much of what you've said throughout the programme. Thank you.
Thank you.
Around 80% of new car sales involve point-of-sale finance, so this is a critical area for the industry to show professionalism and responsibility. An award-winning joint venture approach offered by Northridge Finance is redefining the relationship between dealer and customer. And as Sue Saville reports, ultimately the customer is the winner.
And kind of decided that I'd like a hatchback, something sporty.
When choosing a car, price will always be one of the key criteria. Fewer than a fifth of private new car registrations are funded outside the motor dealership. The majority require some form of point-of-sale financing. This dealership in Worcestershire has been selected to offer a different type of plan on a shared risk and reward model.
If you need a finance plan to buy a car, what's on offer here is a niche product so that customers with a good credit rating can get the most competitive rate. And the debt is shared in a joint venture between the car dealership and the finance company.
The great news with joint ventures, I've actually been able to get the payments where you wanted to be.
The joint venture offered by Northridge Finance gives customers an APR below the usual rate, allowing them to keep valuable credit lines open with their banks for non-car purchases.
OK, that's great, that's inside my budget.
The formula of the joint venture, says Northridge Finance, in effect gives dealers access to their own finance company while sharing the risk, and ultimately allows them to sell more cars. But only the most solid and reliable dealers will be able to offer this plan.
They have access to money market base rates, so that's much lower than they maybe traditionally would have. So that allows them to aggressively attack any of the direct lenders that might be in the marketplace to try to put their customer into a really good deal to help them sell the car. The margin is finer. The margin is definitely finer than a traditional arrangement, but the quality is very good. And if we are comfortable with the dealer in terms of maybe their background, the integrity, longevity of that particular dealership, that's key to us in terms of dealer selection. We're happy to halve the profits.
Happy to take on half the risk is the chairman of the Start-In Group, who is pleased to have passed the selection criteria for the long-term partnership with Northridge.
Joint venture offers another option for our customers. We go through a demands and needs questionnaire with them to find out exactly their circumstances and try and tailor a package that suits them. It's about treating customers fairly. We're really looking for the sort of person that wants a 2-year or a 3-year deal and is going to stick to that deal so the deal comes to its conclusion. It's a great product, it's great for Northridge, it's great for us, and it's good that not everybody's going to be able to offer it.
Northridge says that on 60 days plus arrears, its point-of-sale joint venture plans have fewer bad debts, with just 0.24% in arrears, compared with 0.69% of non-joint venture plans. Meanwhile, the industry average is significantly higher at 1.4%. Since the Financial Conduct Authority took over regulation of consumer credit in April 2014, financiers and dealers must offer tighter controls with fairer, more customer-focused deals. Joint venture ticks these boxes, says this analyst.
The regulation requires them to invest in significant infrastructure to be sure that customers are treated fairly. What Northridge has done, I think, is to create a more enduring partnership where both the dealer and the finance company share in the risk and reward of the performance of that finance book. What that does for the customer, I think, is provide far more transparency. The dealer is probably more invested in the performance of that business, so they select the type of customer that they want to put into that joint venture.
With a bespoke finance business behind the dealership, the joint venture aims to drive a better deal for the sales team, for the financier, and most of all, for the customer.
Narrow margins and shifts in the market can make wholesale stocking a risky business, but Next Gear Capital has a solution where it reduces the risk of the dealer and frees up cash flow for dealerships. Nick Thatcher went to see how their approach is helping dealers streamline their operations.
At this large independent car dealership in Derbyshire, the business is expanding.
As you can see, it's BMW 325.
Here they sell 120 cars a month, a growth in sales that's been accelerated through a partnership with Next Gear Capital's stocking plan. It's a funding facility that provides a simple and cost-effective way for dealers to buy more cars and LCVs to give their customers greater choice.
The benefit of Next Gear over other funding facilities is that we can purchase cars from any trade source. And that includes our own stock. So if I've taken a car in part exchange, I can load it onto the Next Gear system. Next Gear, unlike other funders, will fund not just the purchase price of the vehicle, but in the short term they fund the cost of delivery, the auction charges and fees, and their online system is very, very easy to use.
The online system Next Gear Capital customers have access to is Stockmaster. It can be used through a desktop computer, a tablet or a mobile phone, and means dealers can view their stocking plan in one place, whenever or wherever they want, as well as add vehicles on the go. And as it's linked to 2/3 of the country's motor auctions, they can also see what they've won and check using an easy-to-read fuel gauge as to how much funding they have available at any one time. So at this auction house in Birmingham, Jamie is able to have all that information at his fingertips. There's no need for cash or bank transfers. He can fund cars at the click of a button.
So it's telling me live data as to what we physically got in the pot and how much I can spend today. So it's very useful, absolutely.
Technology can be a real differentiator in this marketplace. Next Gear and their Stockmaster app is really industry leading. Not only from buying at physical auction, also buying online. It makes it easy for the customer, so all they have to really worry about is finding the right stock at the right price at the right time, and the funding looks after itself.
In under 2 years since entering the UK market, the Next Gear Capital stocking plan is already supporting more than 750 dealers with more than £100 million of stocking lines. That equates to more than 64,000 vehicles funded as of February 2016.
And of course, with technology that's easy to use, Next Gear Capital can support dealers of all sizes, from large franchise dealerships to the smallest of independents, giving them the flexibility and freedom their business requires.
At this family-run car dealership in Leicestershire, Next Gear Capital's plan has supported the business to upgrade and diversify stock, as well as increase turnover from £1 million to a projected £6 million in just 3 years. Here, they pride themselves on their customer service, and as the plan has no retail lock-in, it means they can always offer their buyers the best deal.
If you were to borrow from another funder, you would be locked in. With Next Gear Capital, there is no lock-in with them, so it means that I can offer my customers the best finance options available, depending on status, and they've also got the best variety of cars.
Back at Car-A-Lot, a handshake as another deal is done. By using Next Gear Capital to finance stock, businesses like this one have found they can streamline operations and free up cash flow to expand, hire more staff or improve their marketing.
Next Gear Capital has made a massive change to our business as far as revenue, net profit, turnover, cash flow, the four most important parts of our industry, and it's affected all of them to a positive.
And as the motor industry becomes ever more competitive, the funding power and new technology on offer from Next Gear Capital will continue to drive sales and grow business by setting new standards in the buying and selling of vehicles.
Telematics has come a long way in the last few years, offering much more than just car tracking. The RAC's telematics system can calculate a car's time to service, measure performance and even create alerts to help prevent a breakdown, as Marianne O'Hotter reports.
The team at Lookers Van Centre in Newcastle upon Tyne are proud of their reputation for offering the best to their customers. So it's little surprise that they've embraced powerful new telematics technology developed by the RAC that can help drivers and fleet managers save time and money and forge a lasting partnership with the dealership. The sophistication of telematics technology has come a long way in a few short years. It's no longer just about vehicle tracking. This powerful little box can not only help dealers build a better relationship with their customers, it can also improve safety, efficiency and performance.
That's fine.
RAC Telematics offers a suite of tools, including a mobile app, that can transform how vehicles are driven and managed. From detecting low-speed collisions that may have damaged safety features, relaying fault codes for diagnosis and rapid response, and triggering emergency assistance in the case of an accident. Telematics can also encourage better driving habits, reducing risk, wear and tear, and improving fuel economy.
Telematics used to be about dots on maps, but now you know an awful lot about what the vehicle is doing, how it's being driven, what condition it's in, and also you still got the benefits from the past about how you take locational data and make it more service orientated for fleets and for drivers.
Andrew Davison, head of business at Lookers, is convinced that there are benefits for both his company and his customers.
It helps us help them manage their fleet a little bit more efficiently. So what it does is it frees up resource at their end, so their fleet manager's not as tied up with the day-to-day running of the vehicle. He can just print a quick report off at the end of the day and get a lot of management information. It makes us a partner in their business, is probably the way we see it. It gives us the ability to support them a little bit more effectively than we've been able to do previously.
Installation of the telematics device is straightforward and can be completed by a specialist technician within 20 minutes. Tea Merchants Ringtons Limited run a fleet of 250 vehicles to fulfil orders across the UK. Since installing RAC telematics, Operations Manager Stephen Killinger has seen a 10% saving on fuel use across the fleet. Delivery schedules have streamlined and customers can now receive real-time delivery updates. The telematics system also helps him meet health and safety obligations.
Our salespeople are lone workers, so they're out on their own all day. So this gives us that extra bit of peace of mind, so that if there are problems, which we do have from time to time, we're able to locate our salespeople and the vehicle pretty quickly and tackle any issues that may have arisen.
Everybody's dreamed about this, the ability to manage your vehicle remotely, to see it through an app, to be able to have a connection with your dealer. It's today, it's not tomorrow, it's not the future. A connected car is not the future, it's here today through telematics.
Harnessing 120 years' experience of roadside assistance, thorough knowledge of fault diagnosis and breakdown patterns, telematics has taken the RAC beyond reactive response. They can now actually prevent problems in the first place.
Instead of waiting for them to call us, sometimes we're actually making an outbound call to that customer to say, we've seen something, you're either safe to drive and we've booked you into a garage to get this thing resolved, or actually we're going to send a patrol. And it's quite amazing when the customer gets that call, because hang on, they didn't realise we could see, we're looking out for them and looking out for their vehicle technology and hopefully helping them stay on the road effectively.
Advances in telematics capabilities means that this is less Big Brother and more Guardian Angel.
Take care. Bye for now.
The motor industry has had to adapt to tighter FCA regulations, changing the way that car finance works with the dealer. Paul Brennan spent the day with Black Horse, part of Lloyds banking group, to see how increased transparency in finance has improved the image of the car dealer and increased customer retention.
Car dealerships have been around almost as long as vehicles themselves, and as models have improved and become more reliable and robust under scrutiny, so have finance packages and regulations.
When the motor market
became regulated by the FCA, it meant a lot of change for the industry, for finance companies and for dealers. So changes in the way that remuneration worked between lenders and dealers, and in the way that pricing and disclosure worked for customers.
Well, the first thing obviously was to understand the full implications of these changes and what that would mean for the business going forward. I think from our point of view, out there in the community, we absolutely embraced the changes as soon as we could. There was absolutely no point resisting them. Let's embrace it. How can we make that change the best for us?
As the market leader in car finance, Black Horse has established consultative partnerships with dealers like Hendy to help guide and advise on regulatory changes.
We try to think this thing through and make it simple, clear, transparent, easy to understand in the showrooms, and most importantly for the retail customers, so they completely understood what they were being offered in terms of finance at point of sale.
Part of this has been user-friendly software that offers both tutorial programs for dealers and clearer understanding of policies for customers.
We put a lot of investment into how we can explain the product to the end consumer through things like videos and digital brochureware that dealers can then use with their customers. So that helps the dealer help the customer figure out what it is they're buying, and makes the whole thing more transparent.
The largest point-of-sale finance provider in the UK car market, Black Horse helps around 300,000 customers a year.
We're working on a great legacy and knowledge of this industry. You know, we've been in this industry for over 90 years, and I think using all of that learning plus all of the skills and knowledge within our risk and legal and compliance departments, we've helped interpret these guidelines in a very user-friendly way for all of our dealer customers.
One of the key changes Black Horse helped Hendy introduce was a fixed APR option of 9.9% with no hidden fees.
Feedback from our customers say they like the transparency, they like the efficiency that it brings to the handover process, and they like the fact that they know what their payment's going to be, and it's not going to vary. From our point of view, speed of payout is much better. Getting customers through the door quicker is much better, and of course cash flow is further enhanced.
Everybody understands what an APR is, and if you're pricing along APRs and then you're rewarding dealers along APRs, it makes the whole journey much more transparent for customers and easier between dealers and lenders. So that was an example of something that we did to embrace the regulation but keep it focused on what will make it better for customers.
Not only does this fully engage the dealer, but also leads to greater end customer loyalty.
Black Horse's innovative approach really has moved things up a gear. At Hendy's dealerships across the country, they've seen a 33% increase in the number of finance options being taken out by customers.
As regulations and digital sale platforms evolve, Black Horse will continue to steer customers on the road ahead.
At the heart of what we're trying to do in the future, we see our role as helping dealers stay relevant to customers for buying cars and buying finance. That's what we're here to do. That's our reason for being, and Black Horse wants to be at the heart of that for many years to come.
Coming up on Driving Change, research reveals a healthy return on investment for apprentices. Tailoring communications so that customers keep coming back. And finding your keys, a modern solution to an age-old problem. But first, we've known for a long time, haven't we, that hiring apprentices is a good thing to do. What hasn't been as clear is what that investment does for the business doing the hiring. Groundbreaking research by the Institute of the Motor Industry reveals that the return on investment can be up to 300%. So, Toby Sadler visited a classic car restorers to find out how their investment is paying off.
They don't make them like this anymore, but plenty of people still want to own and drive them. And that's getting increasingly difficult to do, even for the legendary restorers here at P&A Wood.
It can take a skilled and dedicated workforce years to restore a classic car like this Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost to this kind of standard. The problem, of course, is that like the cars, those workers aren't getting any younger. The solution here is apprentices. Bring in talented new blood to learn those skills and keep this part of the industry alive.
And then you can work that area, see where it's bunching up, you want to ease that out.
P&A Wood has taken on 8 apprentices. They're learning everything from creating plush upholstered interiors to bodywork. Then there's servicing and rebuilding engines.
Just turn the switch to I and you'll hear the engine drop down a bit.
They're even putting an aeroplane engine back together. P&A Wood can fix any Rolls-Royce or Bentley from 1904 to the present day, but no, they need some help.
Apprentices are our future. They are our future. The majority of the people in the, say that loosely, but the majority of the people in the motor trade have come from apprenticeships. You know, I've done an apprenticeship, so why are we not investing back into apprenticeships? You know, that's our roots, and it's the best way of training. You can't learn the skills that mechanics and coach builders need in a full-time college or university. You need to have that hands-on skill.
It's a passion shared by the new recruits.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it apart from brilliant. There's just no words for it, really.
P&A Woods is like, everyone knows it all over the world, and once you finish your course here, you're bound to get a qualification and a job anywhere you can go.
I'd like to have quite a big career, to be honest. This is where I want to be. I'm not really fancy any other place.
The Institute of the Motor Industry wants more companies to benefit from apprentices, so it's commissioned groundbreaking research to find out when firms would see a return on their investment. The cost of apprentices is seen as the biggest turn-off for employers. But they found apprentices typically generate profit within 2 years, and that often happens within the first 12 months. Companies can expect a return on investment of between 150 and 300%. And the data shows homegrown technicians outperform those recruited from outside.
Apprenticeships within the automotive industry are not a nice to have, they're an absolute essential. Apprentices are great value to a business within their training period, so anything up to a 300% payback within the training period. And that's hugely powerful because it unlocks the potential then for many, many more employers to go, you know what, that's something I want to be a part of.
Steve Nash is hoping to inspire employers and would-be apprentices alike.
The skills that you're picking up will make you pretty unique. There's no real limit to what you can achieve, you know, because you'll always understand the business on a sort of granular level that other people won't do.
Employers need to think to the future. They need to think about, where is my business going? Most employees are getting older. As they retire, it's very difficult to get someone who fits perfectly with your organisation. So by taking on an apprentice, you can grow that person into your business, and that's great forward-thinking succession planning.
For anyone still in doubt, the IMI has used the data to create an online calculator. It means companies can use their own figures to see just what the return on investment from apprentices would be for them.
Insurance products may appear to be pretty straightforward and frankly not that exciting, but don't be fooled. Risk can be complex, unexpected and interesting, especially in the motor trade. Insurance company Tradex believes in treating each and every policy as unique, which is very important when some of your clients are, well, a little out of the ordinary, as Nick Wallace reports.
Motor insurance isn't always exactly what it seems.
You might be the owner of this rather fetching Land Rover Defender, but how would most insurers feel about offering you cover if you told them you had an open fire going in the back?
Hi there, I'm Verity from Tradex Insurance.
Tradex Insurance Company make it their business to think inside and outside the box.
Tradex is a UK motor insurer. We deal with all aspects of motor trade. Everything to us is unique. We hand calculate and book every risk. We don't just input the information onto a computer and get a generic premium back. Everything is looked at on its own merit and its own basis.
That works in practice by tailoring each policy to the individual circumstances of every client. Tradex sold 64,000 policies last year and dealt with 17,000 claims. They pride themselves in being flexible insurers of the unique.
Tradex asks customers what their business is about, and from that we're able to unpick all the various things that our customers do. It could be sales, it could be servicing, it could be mixtures, it could be valeting. So by asking the right questions, we're able to get the right answers back, what help us to tailor the policy for that customer's needs.
They were very, very good in the initial stages when I wanted to reinsure. They came round, looked at all the premises we've got, made sure that we were properly insured and made sure the price was competitive.
From nice little runners to classic vehicles worth hundreds of thousands of pounds, Tradex cover the lot.
We are a specialist Jaguar E-Type restorer. Jaguar made the car back in the 1960s, and we focus on bringing this car back to life, from what can be barn finds to customer-owned cars to cars that have had previous work done on them. So Tradex insure us as a company. They insure any of the work that we undertake within the workshop. They insure our employees, and then they cover the customer vehicles as well. I would strongly recommend Tradex. We've gone through a number of review processes where we've put the insurance up for tenure, and every time we've gone back to Tradex.
If you're a business owner, you need to understand your responsibilities to yourself, your employees and members of the public, whether they're customers or not.
There are a multitude of issues that are faced by any policyholder, and Tradex always do their best to try and marry up the cover with A, what they've requested, and B, what we think is probably appropriate for them. And that can go from anything from compulsory insurances such as employer's liability and road risks, insurances that we would always recommend like public liability, professional indemnity, sales and service indemnity. Tradex have a huge array of policies and covers that we can offer a client, which will ultimately leave them well protected.
So if you restore classic cars, trade, drive, fix, clean, scrap, repossess or serve food from anything on wheels, Tradex can give you the peace of mind you need.
Right, I've got some fully insured pizzas to deliver. See you later.
As the UK's growth in new vehicle registrations demonstrates, the UK automotive industry is booming. But with record-breaking volumes, new challenges are emerging, putting more pressure across the supply chain. Paragon Automotive is adopting fresh thinking and new technology to deliver efficient, cost-effective solutions. Sharon Thomas has more.
Paragon Automotive is the UK's leading provider of new, in-life and used vehicle services. They handle more than 1 million cars a year across 13 locations, including this vast 55-acre site in Oxfordshire. They're achieving record-breaking figures in both new and used vehicle volumes while delivering more efficient service to customers.
Set up in 2005, Paragon's focus is quality and value for their customers, which include most of the major manufacturers. The company has invested tens of millions in its sites across the UK to ensure it remains in prime position in an ever-changing and increasingly challenging industry.
Paragon's got to look longer term for solutions. The availability of space, processing capability, logistics, it's all changed given the pressure of volume that's been put at the industry. So we've got to look much further out and plan with our customers to give them new solutions.
These new cars are destined for a selection of outlets, from fleets and retailers to customers directly. With nearly 1.5 million vehicles being taken by fleets during 2015, many of them will end up back at Paragon for refurbishment at the end of their fleet life. Paragon is the only company in the UK providing the full range of services in the auto supply chain, from factory gate or compound, port side at the UK, delivery to the first customer, managing the vehicle throughout its life cycle and resold as a used vehicle to its next owner.
That's what our customers need, so they're looking for working with a partner who can operate at a strategic level to help them with the range of services that go all the way from the new vehicle through to the used vehicle, all the in-life management of the vehicles, ultimately the remarketing, and what we're doing is supporting our customers so it enables them to help them sell more vehicles.
As part of supporting customers sell more vehicles, Paragon also supports demonstration and press fleets, together with special events such as Goodwood. With record-breaking volumes, manufacturers are becoming increasingly competitive to maintain their market share. It's become even more critical that Paragon remains agile to these needs as the market continues to evolve.
The industry has changed enormously over the last 10 years. The way people acquire and buy vehicles has changed, led by the motor manufacturers. They're our customers, they're the people that we're here to support. Our job is to make sure that their services and their products are delivered to their customers consistently in a quality way every day.
When a vehicle is removed from a fleet, time is of the essence in order to achieve the maximum resale value. Paragon employs innovative technology, such as this digital imaging booth, to move data and improve speed to market to maximise a vehicle's marketable value.
At Paragon, we're working with a number of vehicle manufacturers to redefine their remarketing process. We're looking at focus on their key objectives, both new and used car sales, but importantly at the back end of the process, utilising technology which drives down cost, creates efficiency, and we believe, and is currently tracking, it's selling upwards of 70% online.
Paragon for me is going from strength to strength, and I think the future's in our hands. We're in a completely new era now, and we're about to transform what we do and how we do it. Fundamentally, we can help our customers sell more cars for more money, and that will be fantastic for Paragon and our customers.
Paragon Automotive, committed to delivering a unique package of solutions to keep the auto industry moving.
Personalised communications and social media are having increased influence over customers' buying decisions and providing valuable data for dealerships. Marketing Delivery is helping its clients use this data to tailor their communications with customers and keep them coming back, as Louisa Preston reports.
The way people buy cars is changing. With the use of social media and the advances in technology, dealerships are having to change with the times, and Marketing Delivery is helping them do just that.
Dealerships have got 3, 4, possibly 5 systems in use at any one time where customer and vehicle details are recorded. And we look to bring all of that data together to keep them in touch with their customers more effectively. So we research what customers are using. We look at things like email, SMS, social media, put the messages in front of customers using the right technology at the right time.
There's been a massive change in the automotive industry, and it's going to continue to change. I think Google now tell us 97% of consumers will begin their search online. They're only going to 1 or 2 dealerships. Years ago, they used to travel around weekends, look at 5 or 6, 7 different dealerships. That doesn't happen now.
Marketing Delivery helps dealers communicate more effectively with their customers using emails, texts and social media. It also prompts customer feedback, which is proving invaluable to businesses.
It's transformed and revolutionised our business because it's allowed us to understand what our consumer wants, what's happening with our consumer, and how we can improve that service. But what it does give us is highly efficient targeted communication, which is our lowest cost to market and provides our highest return on investment.
Marketing Delivery has helped us sell cars directly through them. In this way, they will contact the customer to ask how their search is going. Sometimes customers can be a little bit shy in coming forward to make an offer. Marketing Delivery's question, how's your car search going, has prompted some customers to say, actually, we really liked it, we'd like to offer X amount of pounds for it. That then comes through to us immediately. We then follow up and sell them the car.
Marketing Delivery doesn't just help dealerships sell cars, it also collects data so customers experience good aftercare. They're kept up to date via emails and texts so they know when the car needs servicing or an MOT.
Morning, Mr. Bateman. It's Leon from Mercedes. How are you today?
Times have changed where, us as a dealership, we have responsibility of taking ownership of reminding our customers to manage and take care of their cars, especially when it comes to MOT and service reminders.
Now you get the reminder either by text or email, which I find particularly useful because it's very easy to forget when your MOT is due. So the reminder comes in, it prompts you, and I just find the service to be first class.
Having all the information correctly loaded up into our system from the dealer systems, that means we can contact people when it's relevant to them. So we don't advocate sending out mass emails to everybody. We advocate targeting and looking at customers when it's relevant to them. Because the more relevant the message, the more likelihood there is of engagement from the customers.
It's so refreshing to work for a company that actually listens to feedback both ways. So we'll have suggestions and ideas, and we'll go to the team and say, look, can we do this? And they come back with a solution, which is terrific for us. Everybody should be doing it now. It's a no-brainer, really.
Unlocking efficiency and profitability within a business can be as simple as finding the right key at the right time, which in a large dealership can often be harder than it sounds. Tracker Automotive, part of Assa Abloy, the global leader in door opening solutions, has found a way to ensure that vehicle keys are kept safely, securely and always within easy reach.
We all know how annoying it can be if we lose our car keys.
And in some big car parks, it's even possible to lose the car when row after row look exactly the same. So spare a thought for dealers.
In the BMW UK network, we're probably in the top 4 or 5 sites in terms of volume.
At Sytner BMW Nottingham, keeping track of cars and keys used to be a real problem.
Just save your legs.
With 600 cars spread across a 5-acre site, the boss uses a golf buggy to show people around.
You get an idea how easy it would be to lose a car, don't you? So you can see how many cars we have on site. We need to know where they are, and we need to be able to find out very quickly.
But thanks to Tracker Automotive's intelligent key management system, the company knows the exact location of every car and key on site, using technology powered by eTag software.
We'll add a registration number. This brings up the details of the car. We then assign it to the iFob, and that's it.
So that key is now in the system?
That key is now in the system. It's now attached to the keys. The keys are out to me. I then park that car in the multi-storey car park. The keys go on the tracker board in the workshop to register it's there.
The only way a member of staff can move a key is by swiping an access card to get into the cabinet or using their fingerprint. It logs who removed the key and when they returned it. But if the vehicle is moved to a different location on site or to another site, the key is returned to a different cabinet and the new location of the key and the vehicle are automatically updated to the software so everyone can keep track of its movements. This technique is known as random return and is the cornerstone of a successful key management solution for dealerships. At Sytner Audi Nottingham, the system's just been introduced, so I've come along to test it.
Put a car in for service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As soon as I drop off my car, it's added to the system, and the iFob attached to my set of keys will track its location during the time it's on site. So when one of the technicians retrieves the job card, the computer shows him which position in which cabinet my keys are in and directs him precisely to where I've parked.
It really works. We've got 22 technicians, 8 apprentices, and previously we just absolutely know that they were hunting around for keys and wasting a lot of time, precious time that they could be spending working on a customer's car. Immediately the feedback that we're having from the technicians is this is fantastic because I can get straight to the keys. They're asking the question why we didn't put it in years ago, in fairness.
After my car has been in and out of the workshop, the technician returns the keys to the system, which indicates to the valeter it's ready for a wash. He signs them back out to valet the car and then returns them, which updates the software once again so the service desk knows it's ready for handover back to the customer.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
But as well as making key management more efficient, this integrated system has many more benefits.
Every day there will be hundreds and hundreds of transactions on a Tracker Automotive key system within a dealership. Each one of those is a piece of data. What you're actually generating is management information from key transactions and key movements. You need to know that market. You need to know how automotive works in order to create an application that is bespoke to that market and fits those very nuanced requirements, and that's what we have.
Tracker Automotive's intelligent key management system is turning something once considered a frustration and a burden into a valuable asset, offering the business real improvements in security, auditing and in productivity of staff.
Well, that's all for now, but if you want to watch any of our reports again on this programme, it's available on the IMI website, and be sure to catch up with 3 other driving change programmes, also online. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.